You're listening to
Youth Ministry Answers.
From stuff you can use.
Stuff you can use.
Stuff you can use.org.
Welcome to Youth Ministry Answers. My name is Brooklyn.
And my name is Damean, and this is the podcast where you ask the questions and we help you find the answers.
That's right. Welcome. Before we jump in, Damean, how have you been?
I've been doing well, Brooklyn. I've been doing well. Football season is in full swing. My Dallas
You're a
Cowboys.
fan.
Yeah, it's the grief that I've chosen for my life. So there it is. So football season and basketball. My son's getting ready. My sophomore in high school is getting ready for basketball season. So that's where we're at right now. What about you? How's your week?
I have been in volleyball gymnasiums for every day of my life for the last 3 weeks. So that's been really fun. I love it. Football, though, I haven't really been paying attention. I hear the Chiefs aren't doing so great, but I mean, I don't really care. But the Bucks, I hear, are going to have a good year, and I live in Florida. So I don't know so much about football, but I do know a little bit about youth ministry. And I love that we get to sit here and chit-chat and answer some questions from people who have them. So let's hear this week's question.
Let's go.
Hi, this is Heather. Do you have any best practices for keeping my calendar on track?
Ooh, I think she got a good one. This is really good.
Yeah.
This is a felt need for sure.
100%. 100%.
Damean, have you ever lost track of your calendar ever?
Every day of my life? Every day of my life? I haven't been an organized guy. So yes, I know what it is to lose track of your calendar and be like, I thought we were here, but we are not here. So yes, I'm looking forward to your wisdom here.
Yeah, well, I mean, I have some ideas and I have had some success, but I will say today I woke up to go to my workout class and I got there and it was halfway over. And I was like, what in the world? My brain was like, it's Friday, but it was Wednesday. And the Friday class starts 30 minutes late. So I literally missed half the class. But hey, listen, we're all here to grow and learn together. And I do have some thoughts, and I think you do too. So we can help our friends out and learn a little bit more about how to stay on top of that calendar. So you ready to go?
Let's rock and roll.
Okay. All right. Step 1, plan your year. I know it might seem hard to think about the whole year at once, but when you start big picture and you think about what needs to happen each month versus what needs to happen today, you begin to see, okay, these are all the moving pieces in all the areas. So think about the areas that you're planning, not just your events. You want to think about your teaching and your discipleship, what's happening with your volunteers, how you're engaging and planning things for families, how you're developing your leadership, because all of those things are going to impact how many events you can do, how big they can be, how involved you want everyone to be. So when you see all of it at once, you tend to make better decisions about those events. So there's a bunch of ways you can think about the big picture. I am an analog and a digital person. So I have multiple physical tools. I wish I could show you my grow board right now, but basically I put the whole year on a board. So I can see it, and there's a card for everything that happens. So I could see, wow, I really am going to regret August because the list is too long, or I have too many events planned. And then you can kind of like a little puzzle, move them around. Once I have the big picture analog view mapped out, I like to write it on paper and then move it over into some sort of place like, your calendar with reminders, because like I said, I will forget everything, and that'll be sad. So step 1, plan your year. And step 2, plan your week. So then you take that big, beautiful picture and you think about, okay, how do I plan this week? And you ask yourself some questions. You put the things you need in the week, but you also ask questions about the week before so you can make changes. When I first started out in ministry, I was going 90 miles per hour all the time. I didn't have any kids of my own at the time. I just had a lot of energy. And later in life, I realized none of this is sustainable. So having some questions already in your weekly view, what are the takeaways from last week? what are the
Yeah.
outcomes for this week? Like, what do I need to get done by Friday? What are these like actions that I can't miss because I'll be in trouble if I do? Like, I gotta rent the vans or the vans won't exist, kind of a thing.
Yeah, that's
And then
good.
like, who are the people I need to connect with? Who needs your time and your attention? Because when you're looking at the big yearly view, you can't really see those detailed conversations yet. They pop up as you go because that's what ministry is. So you want to, step one, plan your year. Step two, plan your week. Yeah. So what are you thinking, Damien?
I love that, Brooklyn. Like you mentioned, planning your year, planning your week. Those are some things that, as a person that planning and organization doesn't come naturally to me, I'd much rather be out playing with people and talking to them.
Same.
Those two things were like such a breakthrough for my leadership, for my ministry. And I think also another step is using the right tools, right? And you mentioned the yearly calendar, and that yearly calendar blew my socks off. Like I like the I'm telling you the truth. It changed the way I see the year. It changed the way I approach organization. It gave me confidence because I'm a visual person. So it was a tool that allowed me to see the year, like you were saying, but then I can show anybody who was wondering, where are we going this year? I can just easily point them to the board. The colors and all that good stuff that Grow provides is just so appealing to the eye, and I absolutely love it. And there's also a ton of digital tools out there as well that you can use. Your reminders, your tick is what one of the things that we tick. It's like a calendar, you know. But look, me, I'm like you. I write everything down. I have my year planner. I write everything in that, and then I too push everything my towards all my digital things, reminders, calendars, all that good stuff. So I think finding the right tools that work for you and your personality and that you're actually going to use.
Yes.
I can't tell you how many things I've downloaded that I do not use because I'm
Hmm.
like, that seems like a really good idea and they use it so well. Nope.
Yeah.
I'm writing things down again. So I think finding the tools that really work for you. And again, that Grow strategy calendar was a tool that changed my leadership. And I even took the concept of that and I use it in like different leadership atmospheres and businesses now, just because it was so structured and it just helped myself and it helped everyone involved. So I would say using the right tools, getting the right tools that are good for you.
So, Damien, how did you figure out you're not a digital guy? What tools did you discover like along the way? I'm curious.
I figured it out by the surplus of digital tools that I downloaded and kept on all of my devices without using them.
Your
I would
phone erased
download.
them because lack of use.
Yeah, it's like, dude, you've downloaded this 5 months ago. Use it. And it's like, nah, I just want to write everything down. I'm just a writer. And even on my iPad, I just write. I'm just a writer. So
Mhm.
and I continue to fall into that loop a little bit of like, okay, let me try this new thing. But it's like, when it comes down to it, I just like pen to paper. It helps like crystallize it for me. And I just trial and error or lack of trial and download error. You know, I didn't use the tools. I just went back to what I know. So I think that's kind of a little bit of how I discovered I was a writing it down type of person myself. What about you? How do you roll when it comes to your tools?
Well, I mean, over time, I had to become a digital person just because I work remotely, and also our church doesn't have an office anymore. So for 9 years, we have
Oh,
no offices. We don't meet in person unless we have like a meeting, like at a Starbucks or something. So I was kind of forced into looking at a calendar that we share, and
that's good.
I didn't like it at first. I got to be honest with you. I didn't like the feeling of like, what if I don't update it and it's wrong and someone's looking at it? But that was also kind of a moment, like a watershed moment for me, where I was like, oh, I need to get my act together because if someone's looking at this calendar and it's wrong and they plan around it, like, oh, I'm not going to use that room this day because Brooklyn has a youth ministry activity, and then I don't do the activity and it kept them from using the space or kept them from doing ministry, that's always such a bummer. So I had to learn to use basic things like Google Calendar. And
Yeah.
I also
Same.
started I also started sharing my calendar with important people so that, and not that everyone isn't important, but like your boss. In my case, the lead pastor is my husband. And I think we don't like talking about, you know, the details of our calendars because we've been talking about them all the time and we don't want to talk about that at home. So when we share our calendars, at least we can see like, okay, this is what's happening. This is what's coming up in the kids and youth ministry. This is what's going on in the bigger church. Um, so yeah, and then I had to like kind of clean up my messes. I still make messes. I think it's important for people who are creative. A lot of youth ministry leaders are so creative. You have to be. I mean, how
Yeah.
else are you going to hang with middle schoolers and high schoolers? So you are like some of the most creative humans on the planet. And I don't think you should diminish your creative outlet. So when I plan, I will show you. I have this moleskin. Um, this says I'm a luxury. I don't know where I got this, but just a
You're
little
a luxury,
reminder.
Brooklyn. You're a luxury.
I have to remind myself because if you look in these pages, it is a hot mess. It is so messy. None of it's organized. Sometimes I write on this page and then I'll go and write on the end page. And then I'll need to remember where I wrote the thing. So at once a week, I go through this book and I transfer things to my like daily, like, okay, I got to organize these things. And then this list goes into my digital list. It's a weird filtering process. No one needs to do this. I'm not recommending it. I'm just saying this is what I had to do for me. And then once I've got that all in place, the weekly sorts itself. But like I said, and just to recap, step one, you want to plan your year. Because if you
Yeah.
don't plan your year, this eats you for breakfast. It's like this kind
It's
of
real.
it's kind of like, oh, I can't wait to do this one thing. I hope we can do this in the fall for the parents. Oh, it would be really cool for promotion to be like a certain type of way. But then before you know it, promotion is here and graduation is here and baptisms are here. And all of the good things you wrote down in your notepad or in your, on the wall in your sticky notes, they never actually make it in. So if you look at the whole year, they're in there already. Then you can plan your weeks to build up to that big vision that you have. And you'll just be so smart. And people will be like, oh my goodness, you're doing so many amazing things. So step one, plan your year. Step two, plan your week. Step three, use the right tools. And finally, what else can we do, Damean?
Step 4, you could plan a review. You could plan to review. And I love what you said, Brooke, when you look at the full year, it really gives you the opportunity to take the dreams that we have as ministry leaders and volunteers and different things like that. That's how we take these dreams and these big creative ideas and make them a reality.
Yeah.
And right.
Yeah.
And to make sure that reality stays on course, I think it's very important to plan to review, to review what you've planned. This is that how do you eat the elephant one bite at a time? And you kind of review so that you can make sure you're still on track, make sure things are going where you want them to go. And what I would do is I would usually I would have a weekly review. But this isn't like a huge thing. This is where we're going. This is what the week needs of us, kind of with your immediate team, right? Like your immediate team, the people that are going to be involved in the ministry, whether it's your Wednesday night, Sunday night, whatever that looks like. So being with your team weekly, I found that always allowed me to keep a pulse on what's going on, kept key leaders in the loop, and it kind of gave people confidence to be able to do what they wanted to do. So I like to plan. I like to review weekly, just what's happening this week, and then monthly to go as I'm going into a new series or as we're shifting into a new season monthly, just a quick, hey, here's where we're going with this series. Here's the thought behind it. It doesn't even need to be that long, that big, but just a monthly review, just to kind of make sure everything's still on track. And then this one like blessed my socks off, Brooklyn. This one right here. quarterly volunteer meetings. And I liked to do these one-on-ones, like some of these one-on-one, because, okay, maybe you can relate, Brooklyn. Have you ever, when you get a volunteer that's like, I will volunteer, doesn't it feel like, okay, I got to do everything that I can in my power to keep you? I don't ever want you to leave. I need you to be here. You know, that's how I felt with my volunteers. They're gold. Our volunteers are gold. So their yes is gold. And what I started to do, which was fun, was but also nerve-wracking, was I would have a quarterly meeting with my volunteers, one-on-one, kind of to give them a way out. And that's not like I know you're like, what? You give your volunteers a way out? What? You crazy, brother? You are crazy. No, I'm not crazy. Sometimes our volunteers see like their yes to youth ministry, children's ministry, whatever it looks like, as a life sentence. Sometimes it's a life sentence, and you're like, I said yes, and I don't know if I'll ever get out of this thing.
Yeah.
So it's nice to initiate the conversation. So it's not like, hey, Damean, I know I'm supposed to serve tomorrow, but I'm burned out. I got to get out of here. But if we initiate the conversation and say, hey, how are things going? Do you want to go into the next 3 months in the same position? Are you excited about it? It gives, like, that type of a meeting gives us the opportunity to check in with our leaders, give them the opportunity to tell us adjustments in their schedules. And I found that most of the time they're like, heck yeah, sign me back up, brother. I don't ever want to leave. Let's go. And it shows, it's like, no, I'm going to still we'll talk again in 3 months to see where you are. So that was something that I really felt was fun and really pivotal in allowing me to see my leaders and give them the opportunity to say no if they wanted to. What do you think? I just talked a
I
lot,
think
but
it's really interesting what you're saying, because I think it's important to give them permission to say no and
yeah,
give them that relief. But what's interesting about that is I think you have less burnout and less, "Oh, I can't do this anymore," when you have that big picture calendar and weekly plan, because
yeah,
it takes away some of that unknown feeling, that, like, disorientation that comes along with not knowing what's coming up next. So, you mentioned a life sentence. I think people think in terms of life sentences when they don't know how long something lasts, when it ends, what the cycle of it is. But if you know the whole year already, you can say, "Hey, your small group meets X times a year. And these are the seasons when you don't meet. And this is the commitment. And if you need a couple days off in the middle here and there, let us know in advance. We got you covered."
yeah,
And so taking
yeah,
care of them, part of taking care of them isn't just giving them permission to, transition out. I think part of taking care of them is giving the bigger picture of what's going on.
yeah.
So,
I
if you
think I like
have that, I think you have less of this, like, "Oh, I don't wanna do this, I don't know when so, yeah, give them permission for sure, but give them a vision, because if they have the vision, they may wanna stick around for a little bit longer and not feel so overwhelmed by it. That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah. No, I love that. I think a big part of it is just initiating that conversation to just say, how we doing?
Yeah,
Checking in. Cause like you said, ministry goes fast and it goes nonstop, filling 24 hours a day, 7 days a week sometimes. And to slow down and have that big picture and remind
mhm.
our teams of the big picture and the vision, I think taking that time is pivotal. So
Yeah.
plan to review weekly,
Yes.
monthly, quarterly. It keeps everything in front of everybody and keeps everybody going in the same direction. Yeah.
Yes, that's so good. And I think just asking, "How are you doing?" When it comes to calendar
Right.
planning is a great place to start. How are you doing? Is your calendar sort of falling apart? Is it really demanding of you because it's not planned out? Are you feeling stressed by it? If you're stressed, you definitely want to take a few hours, block some time, and get that year planned out because everything else will really flow from there, I promise. It really
Yeah.
changed the game for me. It changed how I felt about ministry. Every Wednesday would come around and I always felt this tension in my chest because who's going to call and say they can't come or what's going to
Right.
happen when I find out. I laughed when you mentioned like events earlier, not because you were funny. I wasn't trying to make fun of you, but I was thinking about an event that I had in mind and I really wanted to pull it off. And I did all the steps, but when I got up to the day of, I was like, oh my gosh, there are 100 things that could go wrong. I had this idea to have a hot air balloon at a prom event that I was having to raise money, for ministry things. Anyway, and the wind had to be perfect for this to work out. And I had also hired some circus animals. It's a long story. It's a big circus themed prom. And I was freaking out. The monkey that I had asked the owner to bring had gotten sick. We had to get a different
Oh
monkey.
no.
The wind was blowing, and I was like, "Oh, no, the hot air balloon's not gonna happen." Like, these are things that happen weekly, and if you don't have a yearly plan,
Come
you
on.
will lose life. You will lose sleep. You will feel stressed, and I remember thinking that day, I'm so glad that we planned all of this in advance because we had some backup plans. It turned out the wind was not gonna cooperate. We were not gonna have a hot air balloon, but we did have, a cool, circus act that was on
Did,
backup. It was a fake act. We made it up. It wasn't real, but it was just something that we to hold the place of this other thing that didn't happen. So I think
did you have a
when
monkey?
we did, the monkey showed
Okay,
up.
nice.
The monkey was a win. I have pictures. We also had a mini horse that I had not planned on, but the guy who owned the monkey owned mini horses. And
Oh,
I was
that's a
like,
win
"Can I
right there.
also get one of those?" And because it was a prom, we had red carpet, leading into the church. So we had like prom dresses and we got photos on the red carpet with the mini monkey. Or no, it was a very tiny monkey, but also a tiny horse. And anyway, the whole thing ended up being a huge success. Everyone brought their $3 to come, and we raised some money, and it was beautiful. It was such a beautiful middle school event. So anyway, all that to say, none of it could have happened if we wouldn't have had a little bit of a vision, a
Yeah.
plan, and then I was able to survive that as a leader as well. So I'm so grateful for this question. Thank you for asking. We have talked a lot about, different tools that we can use, resources. If, by the way, if you do need a small miniature monkey, just get on Facebook and ask around because that's what I did.
I think I
And
might need one just to hang out with.
they're
Just
very
to hang out
cute.
with.
And they're taken care of very well by owners who are allowed to have them legally. So anyway, there are so many resources you could use. We mentioned a bunch, but we also make a weekly planner. So if you need help, you want to get on top of your week and you don't know where to start, then you can download it for free and print it to use for your ministry. And if you don't want to print it and you would just like for it to come printed for you, you can get that. You can buy it on Amazon. So go to growcurriculum.org or go to the show notes. There's a link there. You can pick that up to help you with your calendar planning. But anyway, good questions. I love it, Damean.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun. Organization. Let's
Yeah,
go.
let's go. As I have 15 planners in front of me, a phone, an additional journal, and all of the
Right
things.
there with you.
Good luck,
Got all my
everybody.
stuff. You got this. Go ahead, Brooklyn. You attack it first. What are you into, girl?
I feel embarrassed to say it, but I'm going to say it.
Safe
I,
space.
I,
Safe space. Go ahead.
I,
We're here for you.
I am into Love is Blind France. But hear me out.
Oui, 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 oui.
I am learning French, and if any of you are out there listening and you are fluent, I would love to just have a real life chat because I'm 3 years into Duolingo and I just talk to robots all the time.
Je m'appelle Damean. Je
Oh,
m'appelle Damean.
oui, parle français?
Tu t'appelles comment?
Ça va bien? What did you ask me? Anyway,
I said, what is your name? Sorry.
J'aime beaucoup. Wait, tu parles français?
Un petit peu.
Okay. Oh my gosh, you know so much more than I do, actually. I'm listening to it because it's so much more conversational. They'll say things like "Jay," and I'm like, "Oh, that's like a word that you can elongate. It's not just like, so like this and all broken up into these weird words." So I've been watching it even though it's like, a little cringe. I really am picking up a lot more conversational French. So I'm into that. And um I am into I've been researching cooler bags, like backpacks that you can wear as coolers because I go to a lot of sporting events and I see so many parents and youth pastors with these really cool backpack coolers that have all this speaking of organization, all these organizational things. I'm like, why have I not taken advantage of what's out there? So if you have a good organizational backpack cooler that you like, let me know because I'm just looking around. How about you, Damean? What are you into?
I am into show-wise. I've been watching The Studio on Apple TV,
What's
which has
that?
been it's a show about like the entertainment industry as far as like how they create shows and TV shows, movies, how the studios do it, and it's just making fun of the whole process, and it's so hilarious. It's like, and it's the who's of actors show up in this show, and they're all
Cool.
making fun of themselves. They're all making fun of the process and the industry, and it's hilarious. It is a very funny show. And
Oh
then
my gosh.
yeah, it's funny. And then I've been looking at my fall sneaker schedule as far as
Ooh.
I got to get ready. What am I
I
purchasing?
have some
What
that
am I
everyone
purchasing?
has. What do you think of this style?
I do like the
It's the
Sambas.
Adidas Sambas.
I do like the Sambas. I
That's
like
like
them.
my
And
fall go-to.
and it works really well. I do like the Samba. I'm looking for some Jordan lows. I'm getting the
Mhm.
Chicago 1 lows. Those are
Okay,
coming out here soon.
okay.
And my daughter, I just got her first pair of Jordans at 13 years old. Got her some fours, some denim
Wow.
fours, and it says
Oh.
on them, it says Jordan family.
Oh, okay, so the little fun fact, my husband buys Jordans for my daughters on their birthdays since, like, the day they could wear Jordans. They get a new pair every birthday. I don't know, it's just
Your
like
your your husband is my bestie because I
he's
did
your
that for my daughter. I did that. My boys loved it, embraced it. My daughter, I got her a pair of J's when she was like 2. She was like, I'm over this. Didn't want to have anything to do with them.
Aw.
And then she turns 13 and she's like, hey dad,
Yeah,
I like your Jordan 1s. And I'm like, what? What?
and you
What?
were ready. You were
I,
ready.
I was ready. I was like, okay, baby
That's
girl,
good.
I got 5 options for you. Pick all of them.
Yeah, yeah, we end
So
up getting them the, like, silly
yeah.
colors because 'cause they're on sale, like, they'll get, like, lime green Jordans. You were saying about the behind the scenes Hollywood things, you would like this podcast called Mom's Car. It's Kristen Bell
Really?
and Dax Shepard, and they're in her Chevy Bolt, which, by the way, Kristen Bell drives a Chevy Bolt, and I love this for her. She
That's
actually
awesome.
found out that they were gonna stop making Chevy Bolts, and so she told Dax maybe we should buy a few, like, just in case. Like a backup Bolt, and I
A
laughed
backup
so hard.
bolt.
Yeah, like, just, like, hilarious. She loves a Chevy Bolt, and I'm like, Kristen Bell could have any car she wants, and this is her choice.
I
So,
love
anyway,
that.
you might like that podcast. It's kind of fun. They're in a car, and they're just
What's it
talking about
again?
Mom's car, and it's, like,
Mom's
Kristen's
car.
car, like, Dax's children's mom's car, not their mom's car, if that
I'm
makes
gonna
sense.
write it down in
Okay.
my planner. Mm-hmm.
Yes, schedule it
Tools.
on
Tools.
YouTube. I think we've done good today, and I hope everyone gets organized so you can watch more shows and buy more Jordans. Okay, well, there you have it, everyone. If you want to get on top of your calendar and not let it ruin your life, you want to think about doing these 4 things: plan your year, plan your week, use the right tools, and plan a review. And
Planner review.
if you want to get that weekly calendar helper thingamajigger that we make, you can get it in the show notes or on Amazon. That's all we've got for you today. Thanks for listening to Youth Ministry Answers. I'm Brooklyn,
And I'm Damean Easter.
and we're signing off. See you next time.
Have a good one, family.